In today's episode, we are going to go ahead and head over to Gulf State Park in Gulf Shores, Alabama. We are going to go ahead and explore the park for a little bit, give you a little bit of a back history, a little bit about what's around there, and we are going to definitely go ahead and check out what kind of birds are there in Alabama. So let's get going. Y'all, is another one of those up and back kind of trips. Took off Christmas morning, headed over to Gulf Shores, Alabama. It was about, I don't know, about a 7-hour drive. And needless to say, got there on Christmas Day, spent about half the day at the park on the next day, spent some time with family, and then turned around and drove right on back home to Florida. So I didn't get a lot of time to explore this park, but what parts I did get to see, I really did enjoy. Now, what we did first was we headed over to the ranger station, which is off of Campground Road, and went ahead and paid for a pass for the day. It was only a couple of dollars, so it wasn't too much. Now, this park was actually developed back in the Great Depression during 1933 to 1939. It was a CCC camp, and it actually opened up in May 20th of 1939, and it was one of the first 5 parks that opened up in Alabama. What is really spectacular about this particular park is it has 9 ecosystems. It has 3 lakes, it has restaurants, it has camping, they have cabins, and over 20 trails for you to go ahead and visit in this park. Now, I didn't go over to the beach side, but they do also have 3.5 miles worth of lovely beaches on the other side of the park. I did go and see the beach in that particular area, maybe like a little bit further down, not in the park. And I want to say, y'all, the beaches are absolutely stunning with that sugar sand, and it was just absolutely beautiful. And I really did enjoy that nice soft sugar sand that they had in the area. Now, the park is about 6,000 acres in size. It's right on the Alabama Gulf Coast, and they actually are in that one little area. They have 4 different birding trails that you are able to go on, which I think is absolutely fantastic. And I'm going to read them off to you because I don't think I got them memorized yet to be able to tell you. So without further ado, we have the Gulf State Park Fishing Pier, the Shelby Lake Picnic Grounds, which I got to check out, Gulf State Park Pavilion, and they also have the Gulf State Park Nature Center / Education Center. So you definitely have different areas to explore when it comes to birding. Most of the buildings were closed when I headed on over there, I think just because it was the holiday season. That was unfortunate because I really kind of wanted to check them out, but at the same time, I only really had a half a day to be able to check this park out. So I was unable to check out all the hot spots that were in the area in the first place because I was limited a little bit on time. But I did hear over at the Education Center that they have fantastic information about like guided tours and things to see. And then also they had a bird checklist that you might want to go ahead and check out so that you know which birds are in the area. So definitely check that out so you get a better idea of what's all in the area. Now, if this sounds like a really cool place that you want to go, make sure you go ahead and give me a thumbs up. That way others also know that this is a cool place to visit. And we are going to be checking it out a little bit more. But I wanted to say, if this is your first time coming to my channel, welcome. My name is KT, and we go on fun-filled adventures, learn about nature and photography. So go ahead and stick around if you guys want to learn more, and we're going to go ahead and keep on exploring that park. The first trail that I decided to investigate was the Lake Crossing Trail. It is basically a boardwalk, and it goes over the dunes. So that way it protects the dunes. They also have some endangered mice there. So the boardwalk goes over the dunes, and then it actually goes over Lake Shelby into the Lake Shelby picnic area. And so that's the direction that I went ahead and walked towards. And they had a playground there. They had picnic tables. So you could definitely do a picnic right there by the lake. You have to have a license if you want to go fishing there, and then just be, mindful that there are alligators in the area. One of the problems that we had while we were out there is that Bo would, a couple times he kept on stepping off of the trail, because on the boardwalk we were fine, but once we got to where there was kind of like the grassy, sandy area, he would step off of the trail and then he would get a spur in his foot. And then, so we had to pull those out. And then another time he got a thorn in his foot, and that was like really bad because at that point we needed tweezers. And I'm just really glad that we were by the truck when that happened. Is a really good reminder that you really should always carry your first aid kit with you whenever you are hiking, because you never know when you need it. Luckily, like I said, we were by the truck, so we were able to go ahead and pull that thorn out of his paw. But if you ever need to care for your animal and you got to maybe pull a thorn, like in this case, to kind of decrease your chances of injury, what I would suggest doing is maybe wrapping your dog up in a blanket or a jacket or your t-shirt or something, because I know my little guy gets a little snappy and he's a little sensitive when you are trying to mess with his feet and stuff like that. And so basically that would decrease your chances of injury if maybe you wrap your fur baby up a little bit. But I can't guarantee that that would work, but it could decrease the chances there. So you guys are here to learn about where were the birds. So yes, I got to see lots of birds on the lake crossing trail. They were kind of like, I saw more small birds when I was on this trail. I saw lots of yellow-rumped warblers. I also saw northern mockingbirds on this particular trail. So I went ahead and headed on over to the Gopher Tortoise Trail. And I think I still managed to mess it up for you all, but that's okay. That is where I headed on over to. And they had a nice wide paved path. Now this was not covered either. Neither was the other trail. So if you're in trails where there is no cover, definitely make sure that you have your hat, long sleeve shirts on, you got your sunscreen, and make sure that you bring plenty of water with you. And needless to say, I went ahead and went down this pathway. There were a ton of those little yellow-rumped warblers, which I had never seen before. And I thought they were kind of cute with their little yellow romp ends. And then there was lots of northern mockingbirds, and so I got a lot of pictures of them. And then I kept on going because I was actually heading over to the Lake Shelby Overlook. Now this is where I saw tons of different birds at this point. And when I got over there, I looked up and I was trying to figure out what the bird was in the sky. So I went ahead and took a couple of shots. They were out of my range. They were out of my range, but I got to see a juvenile eagle and I was like, yes, that was like so cool. So there was a couple of juveniles up there in the air, and there was also a couple of adults. I also got to see a greater scaup, which is a diving duck. They kind of have like a blue bill with a little black tip at the end. And so I got to see those. Those guys were a little out of my range too, but at least, you know, the nice thing about having a long lens is, you know, I don't feel like I'm at you know, sometimes, yes, you want to get that photographic image of that bird. But what I like about a long lens is sometimes if the bird is out of range for me, I might be able to get a picture of him. It might not be the best picture, but it's enough of a picture that I can identify the bird. And so I really think that's really cool about having a nice long lens. So needless to say, I did get to take some pictures of these greater scalps, which are the diving duck like I mentioned, and they were pretty cool looking. I do wish they were a little bit closer because I've seen pictures of them now and they're really beautiful, and I wish I could have gotten a better shot, but that's okay. At least I got to see this bird and be able to identify it. I also got to see a loggerhead shrike, which is a bird that I've been wanting to see. They have like a little black mask, so they remind me of Zorro. It's like, hey, it's Zorro. Anyways, they're cute little birds, so I got to take some pictures of this one little guy. Absolutely adorable. I did see a soft-shelled turtle, I saw a gator, and I saw lots of other birds like coots and double-crested cormorants. And then on my way back towards the truck, I looked up and there was just like a million of these birds. They were called tree swallows, and they were just like in swarms, and they were just, I hope you guys like the sound effects on that one, but they were just kind of going crazy. And honestly, the video does not do it justice whatsoever. Now, if this sounds like a place that you would like to visit, go ahead and hit that like button so that other people know that it's a cool place to go too. I want to say thank you so much for tuning in today. If you found this enjoyable and you really liked it, please consider subscribing to my channel. Hit that notification button so that way you don't miss any future episodes. If you are new to photography, go ahead and tell me what do you want to learn about, and I can go ahead and create a video, and then that way I can help you in your journey to be a better photographer. And also, what was your favorite part of the video today? Tell me what you thought was cool about Gulf State Park. Well, until next time, see you later, alligator. All right, guess what? It is scat cam time, because this scat looks different than the other scat we've been looking at. Looks like it's got some type of nut, a little bit of fur in there. That's some interesting scat.